biggest names come to work every day. And speaking of big names, here's our co-host for the tour, Whoopi!
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. How am I?
Don't answer that.
Okay, fine. You're saying 2 hours? Maybe. But if other studios can have a line or a mouse or something, what is wrong with an Oscar-winning Whoopi? Besides, I know all about this place. I shot my first movie here with Steven Spielberg on the Universal backlot, the biggest and busiest fantasy factory in the world. So let's go. Universal got its start in 1912 when the visionary Carl Laemmle brought his movie company west and opened Universal Pictures. On March 15, 1915, Mr. Laemmle invited the public, that's you guys, to visit his studio, and the Universal Studio Tour was born. You see, Mr. Laemmle believed that movies should make people laugh, or cry, or sit on the edge of their seats. And for the last century, Universal has been doing just that.
Here we are going into the front lot of the studio, and our front lot has 35 sound stages. And a great example of a sound stage is the largest sound stage here on the lot. It's right in front of the tram, and to the left, it's Sound Stage 12. In fact, here at Sound Stage 12, we've done some of the most largest scale scenes in Hollywood history. Take a look. That's right. More recently on Soundstage 12, we filmed Couples Retreat starring Vince Vaughn, as well as Tropic Thunder starring Ben Stiller. In fact, this area of the lot is also where we filmed The Sorcerer's Apprentice, an upcoming Nicolas Cage film. On the left of the tram is Soundstage 25. 25, 24, 23, and 22 are all home to CSI, Crime Scene Investigation. They're the busiest sound stages on the lot. A great example of what we call a closed set, meaning only the immediate cast, crew, and invited guests are allowed access. Next time you come to Universal Studios, though, be sure to check out our VIP experience, where you can become one of those invited guests and have the opportunity to walk on and explore actual sets used for filming. Now, we saw the largest and the busiest sound stages. How about the oldest? Well, right over here to the right side is Soundstage 28. It was constructed in the 1920s to house the elaborate Paris Opera House set for The Phantom of the Opera, starring Lon Chaney, Band of a Thousand Faces. Since then, it's been home to quite a few other Universal creepy creatures. Left is Soundstage 27. It's where we filmed Land of the Lost starring Will Ferrell. Land of the Lost is based on the 70s television show of the same name. We've also filmed some other very large-scale scenes in Soundstage 27. Take a look.
Go, 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 go! Okay, listen up. Quiet down.
Whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood outside his cave, eating the food.
For Evan Almighty, we constructed a life-size ark inside of Soundstage 27.
Hey guys, the jet skis are ready. Come on, we're waiting on you. Just one second with the kids. We'll be there in a minute.
This area of the lot is also where we filmed Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Squeakquel, You're Welcome, as well as Little Fockers, the third film in the Meet the Parents series. Now, Universal Studios doesn't just make movies. We also make music videos, commercials, even television shows. In fact, over the years, Universal Studios has been responsible for producing some of the most successful television shows in history. See if you recognize any of these. Stages directly to your right are used to film NBC's brand new hit drama Parenthood. over to the left are the production bungalows. Now, back in the day, they used to be the dressing rooms for some of Universal's biggest stars. Now they're the production bungalows. In fact, you might recognize some of these production names, like, for example, Hasbro and Mr. Potato Head, your first celebrity on the lot, is sitting right in front of that. Now, Mr. Potato Head and Hasbro have brought us the Transformer films, as well as in the coming years, you may see some of their most successful board games and toys to life on the big screen. Right next door to that was Bungalow 5195, the old office of famed director of suspense, Alfred Hitchcock. Now, Hitchcock was famous for bringing us Vertigo, The Birds, Rear Window, and my personal favorite, Psycho. He was also very famous for making cameo appearances in his own films. See if you can spot him.
Good evening. My name is Alfred Hitchcock.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
See the blood.
Another production company that has their offices over in the bungalows is Illumination Entertainment. They brought us Despicable Me on July 9th. Here to tell you a little bit more about the animation process for a film such as Despicable Me is its producer, Chris Meledandri.
Hi, I'm Chris Meledandri, Chairman and CEO of Illumination Entertainment. Our production team in Los Angeles, a staff of over 200 animators in Paris, and artists from around the world are working on the highly anticipated 3D CGI feature, Despicable Me, starring Steve Carell, which will be released in theaters everywhere this summer. It might surprise you, but the initial process of creating a computer-animated film has very little to do with computers. Once we have the script in place, our artists storyboard the film. The next step is to record the actors who will be lending their voices to the characters. Then, the computer animation process really begins. It takes 24 frames of animation to make just 1 second of finished film. For a feature film like Despicable Me, that works out to nearly 130,000 frames of animation, which can take 3 to 4 years to complete. So, I better get back to work.
As I said before, Despicable Me opened on July 9th. Make sure you get a chance to take a look at it. It's the highest grossing film right now at the box office. Here we are in the back lot. Now the back lot is where we film exterior scenes on a large scale. June 1st, 2008, 4 acres of this historic backlot were burned in a devastating fire. But since then, we assembled an award-winning crew and began the rebuilding process immediately. What you see now is a recreation of these Metro sets of the Universal backlot. Now, back in the day, we used to decorate New York Street to look like London. Since the reconstruction process, we decided to add our very own London Square area to the Metropolitan sets. Now on the screen, you can see how we used to decorate New York Street to look like London just by changing around some road signs, the cars that drive around in the areas, and some street signs as well. Now London Square comes complete with a non-denominational church. It's non-denominational to give filmmakers a variety of different things to film there, as well as an adjacent grassy area. You can film anything from a wedding to a funeral there. London Square also has a parliamentary building. We filmed television shows like 24 and Ghost Whisperer in our Metro sets.